Okay, so as you heard the fella say, we couldn't film in the museum. There's a lot of information in there. So this is something that you might want to see if they have an official video, or just do look it up, because it would have been a lot to take in even with a video. But I guess there's not an issue filming on the grounds, so we're gonna do that. Catch up with Stacey here in just a minute. Over there's the ice house, and over there is the carriage house, which we'll get to.
This is a lot more intensive than I thought it was going to be.
There is a lot of information in here. Service yard. Today's concept of a backyard conjures up familiar images of relaxation, but in a time before labor-saving devices, this area accommodated many different activities. Household tasks included cooking, gardening, laundry, hauling water and firewood. This work was done by enslaved workers prior to 1865. After emancipation, many of the formerly enslaved African Americans decided to stay at Pond Spring and work for the Wheeler family.
Well, yeah, a lot of this could have been avoided if they would have just paid. First start paying for these people.
Right? Just pay them.
Just pay them.
But all of that aside, in the 1800s, everything was work. Everything.
I mean, people should have had a choice. It should have been like, okay, we realize now slavery is going to plunge us into war. It's really wrong. And then it's like, you can stay and have a salary, or we'll help you.
Yeah.
We'll, help you. Like,
Yeah.
teach everyone to read and write and let them, make some choices. I feel like we went really wrong somewhere.
The Delco Building. This small structure, seen in photos from the early 1900s, was originally located east of the Wheeler House. It provides an example of how the history of a building can be lost over time. Oral history of the site identified the building as a commissary or store, selling food and other goods to sharecroppers who lived on the plantation. However, the Pond Springs store was actually along the roadside of Highway 20. Recent investigations suggest this building might have been used to store an early electric generator. This machine, known as a Delco Light Electric Plant, produced electricity with a one-stroke kerosene engine and turbine, which was then stored in large glass batteries. The Delco provided small amounts of electricity to light the home until the house was fully wired by Alabama Power in 1928. The shelves built to hold the glass batteries are still present inside the building. That's cool.
That is cool. Because, once you find out that electricity is possible, you don't want to wait another minute.
Right.
You're like, I'm not good with lamps until then. Figure something out.
Now, being the sidestepper that I am, I've got to bypass a lot of this stuff and go straight to this crumbled down building. If this was not part of a museum, I would be all up in there.
There's probably snakes in there.
There's probably snakes and crushing death. Like, it would be a really bad idea.
Afraid of crushing death, apparently.
Look at this. You see these things in the woods as you drive down the roads. Here's an opportunity to actually see one. It's being propped up. So they are propping it up. Look at the stalls. Stall doors there. Man, they're using everything at their disposal to keep this thing from just coming down. Fascinating. I would show you the foundation. Looks like it was field stones. If there was even that kind of a foundation.
Let's go look at the cemetery.
Okay. Yes. So look at that. That's a log cabin. And that's a log cabin. And that's a dog trot between them. And that's newer.
Oh, that other structure is a corn crib.
Oh, okay.
Man, this is peaceful.
It is. This is a beautiful place. There was an unbelievable amount of land with this back in the day. A lot of repairs, modern repairs have been made on that. But so peaceful. I see it. Uh-oh.
I didn't even want to walk down those stairs. When we got to come out the back stairs, I was like, oh, good. Those stairs look terrifying.
Yeah, there was a whole world of stuff going on inside the house. I'm sorry I couldn't film it. So here we have the cemetery. Got a bunch of barbed wire. A fence has come down. So I don't know what's going on over in here. There doesn't seem to be any marked graves. But clearly this was something. But over here, there are marked graves. All right. Our father and mother. Of ardent feelings, she was a devoted wife and an affectionate mother, a kind sister and a generous friend. Our loss is her gain. They who love thee, living now, lament thee dead. Pay this last tribute to thy gentle shade. In memory of Frances, consort of Samuel W. Sherrod, born March 3rd, 1821, died July 19th, 1845. In memory of Samuel W. Sherrod, who departed this life November 28th, 1843, aged 34 years and 12 days. If you'll remember in the Cortland video, there was a building that said Sherrod at the top of it. Frank Edward, son of Sarah and Felix Sherrod, born December 24th, 1836, died July 3rd, 1863. Yea, though I pass through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Sacred to the memory of Felix A.M. Sherrod, born March 29th, 1809, died June 21st, 1845. And that one's broken. That's one of those with the things on the back. Ben Sherrod, 1836 to 1861. So he giveth his beloved sleep. Calm land beyond the sea, sweet is thy endless rest. Erected by Lucy Wheeler, 1887. Sherrod. 1860 to 1866. Can't read that. Ella Sherrod, 1861. Oh. Ella Wheeler, 1869 to 1871. Off. Cannot read it.
Little children. Something. I don't know. It's always sad. The child gravestones are always so sad to me.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to normal people like anybody, but.
Infant. And that one you can't even read at all. The ones that you can't read, this would be documented, so you can probably look it up.
I think it says infant of son of Joseph Wheeler. Ere the battle had begun, Victor spared from war's alarm. So it's like he passed away before he lived, but life is hard. It's still very sad.
It is.
Obviously.
Child death is horrible. Thomas Harrison Wheeler, March 7th, 1881, September 7th, 1898. Drowned at Montauk Point, Long Island, in an attempt to save the life of a comrade. Yes, two members of the Rough Riders almost drowned in the same spot the day before. And they went swimming there, and he tried to save his friend, and they both died. He was 17. Annie Early Wheeler, July 31st, 1868, April 10th, 1955. Come ye blessed of my Father. She greatly loved and humbly served God and her neighbor. In memory of Miss Annie E. Wheeler, 1868 to 1955, first Vice President General from Alabama, 1899 to 1900, placed by Alabama Society.
NSDAR, something, Daughters of the American Revolution?
Yeah, interesting. So, something I have to say here, you know, I'm showing you these graves. You get a lot more intimately acquainted with these people on the tour. So like these names are very familiar to us looking at these
We
graves.
spent an hour like on the tour.
So I know that it probably doesn't translate sharing it with you here like
but if
this.
You're ever up this way, definitely check it out. It was so worth it.
Yeah, come to Cortland and then come to the Wheeler house. I'm gonna go around so I can read this. Okay. Cadet, United States Naval Academy, served on the U.S. cruiser Columbia, Spanish-American War. Greater love
Hath no man
than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Wondrous sovereign of the sea, Jesus, Savior, pilot me. That is absolutely true. Precious Mama of Richard Jones Sherrod, born April 2nd, 1860, died January 6th, 1866. Ella Sherrod, born June 1861, died July 1861. Lucy Louise Wheeler, 1886, 1824. I'm not reading some of these things right. Oh, 1924. Annie Early. Ella, born August 9th, 1869, died March 1871. Julia Knox Hull, Joseph Jr., Carrie Payton, Thomas Harrison, 1881 to 1898. So this is the obelisk he was talking about. This is a smaller version.
Yeah, and if you go into the front, it even says like Joseph Wheeler, born Augusta, Georgia, September 10th, 1836, died in New York, January 25th, 1906. His body lies at Arlington, Virginia. And then his wife and daughter. Right. Beloved wife of Joe Wheeler. No, she was the daughter of Lucy Early and Richard Jones. And these are his sisters. So it's really just Joseph and Ella here.
Right. Lucy.
Gravestones are confusing.
It's an impressive monument.
Oh yeah, but there is a daughter. See, Lucy Louise.
Beloved daughter of Daniela Jones and Joseph Wheeler, November 24th, 1866, December 25th, 1924, in the midst
of the paradise of God. And at least they were comforted by their faith.
Yes. Joseph Wheeler, beloved son of Gordon and Carrie Wheeler, Buck. April 16th, 1911, November 24th, 1915. Carrie Peyton Wheeler, Buck. Born August 8th, 1877, Wheeler, Alabama. Died March 16th, 1953. Greenwood, Virginia. Dearly beloved wife of Gordon, Mountjoy Buck. Of her gentle sex, the paragon.
Aw, that's what you'd say about me, right? A paragon of womanhood.
Absolutely. Gordon Mountjoy Buck, born May 3rd, 1875, the Towers, Natchez, Mississippi. Died April 26, 1970. Wilton, Greenwood, Virginia, eminent member of the New York Bar. So this is what he was talking about in there. They have like from the 1800s all the way up to 2022 buried back here.
Yeah, the most recent descendant is John Willington LeGrand, 1943 to
Yes.
2022. But he doesn't have like a headstone yet.
So he'll go here, yeah. Died November 6, 1968. Did I not read this one? Harrison Lee Buck, born August 1st, 1907, Pelham, New York. Died November 6, 1968. Staunton, Virginia, for he will give his angels charge over thee. Very nice and very peaceful. They've got a very pleasant, peaceful place to be laid out to rest till their eternal reward. This is a very pretty monument.
You sounded like my mom when you said eternal reward. She was always saying that.
All these historic sites are like whirlwind educations. There's some stuff that like for me, you knew Wheeler before this.
He's very famous.
Right.
Joe Wheeler is famous.
So for me, I'm not the Civil War historian that Stacey is. So a lot of this stuff kind of, we go see the stuff and I'm like, wow, this is really cool, and I don't really know anything about it until we walk through the thing, and then it's like overload.
It's overload.
So
I don't know that much.
I want to see this carriage house at least before we go. A lot of history here. One thing about this place is that it's kind of still in a state of preservation. It's like not done yet. So this over here is really interesting. This is a 2-era building, and they're going to be working on it to get it, you know, up to museum par, but it is not yet. However, well, I'll just show it to you. This is the Carriage House. And it is in a state. But this was the Carriage House. What's that? About done, yeah.
I'm gonna hit the bathroom one more time
Right.
before that tour gets done.
Okay. This is the Carriage House. Well, later on, this was added for automobiles. You might see a difference in the construction, but it's old style carriage, new style automobiles. This building once housed the coaches, carriages, and other vehicles used by the Sheridan Wheeler families. The west section, dating to 1830, is the oldest portion. The Gothic trim work on this section does not match any other architectural trim located on the site. The larger east section was added by the Wheeler family after 1866. In 1929, Joseph Wheeler Jr. retired from his military career and returned home to Pond Spring. Soon after, he purchased a Buick, which would have been stored in this structure. Imagine how the introduction of automobiles to the site changed the lives of the Wheeler family. A trip to Decatur by horse and buggy would have taken almost a full day. With Joseph Wheeler Jr.'s 1929 Buick at 30 to 40 miles per hour, it was less than an hour.
I love this.